Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
You're watching South Asia Newsline and have the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 11th of March. PM Modi visits Mauritius after 10 years, highlights deep cultural bonds. Canada's incoming PM eyes opportunity to rebuild ties with India. And Dalai Lama says successor will be born in free world outside of China. And now for all the details. A historic visit is underway as Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Mauritius for a two-day state visit. The visit, which includes key bilateral talks and over 20 project inaugurations, is expected to strengthen ties between the two nations. A report.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday met Mauritian President Dharimbir Gokul and held diplomatic talks with his Mauritian counterpart Navin Chandra Ramgoolam during his two-day state visit to the island nation. Prime Minister Modi received a grand and culturally rich welcome in Mauritius. Upon landing, he was warmly greeted by Prime Minister Navin Chandra Ramgoolam at the airport, reflecting the close ties between the two nations. The welcoming ceremony also included 200 dignitaries, including MPs, MLAs, diplomatic representatives, and religious leaders assembled to greet him. The Indian Prime Minister's arrival was marked by the vibrant performance of Geet Gawai, a traditional Bhojpuri musical ensemble that holds deep cultural significance in Mauritius. In a post on X, Prime Minister Modi expressed gratitude to his Mauritian counterpart for the special gesture, adding that his visit to Mauritius was a valuable opportunity to engage with a trusted friend and explore new avenues for collaboration in various sectors. During his visit, Prime Minister Modi will be the chief guest at the island nation's National Day celebrations on March 12th. He is also scheduled to inaugurate over 20 India-funded projects spanning from capacity-building initiatives to community-linked infrastructure. The visit is expected to see the signing of several agreements aimed at strengthening cooperation in areas such as capacity building, trade, and tackling cross-border financial crimes. This visit, the first by an Indian Prime Minister in 10 years, holds significant diplomatic and cultural importance. Mauritius is a key partner in India's Sagar Vision and is home to a large Indian origin population, with nearly 70% of its citizens tracing their roots to India.
We are preparing to meet him since 1 week, but today we are fully satisfied with his presence here and we welcome him once again.
And Canada's incoming Prime Minister Mark Carney has expressed his intention to improve strained ties with India, calling it an opportunity to rebuild relationships. Carney, who recently secured a landslide victory to become the leader of Canada's ruling Liberal Party and the country's next Prime Minister, made the remarks during an interview while campaigning. He emphasized the need for Canada to diversify its trading partnerships, including strengthening ties with India. The remarks signal a thaw in relations between Ottawa and New Delhi, which nosedived earlier in 2024 during the tenure of outgoing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. In a speech in Parliament, Trudeau had alleged India was behind the killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. India strongly denied the allegations, calling them baseless and politically motivated. Tensions further escalated when both nations expelled their senior diplomats, degrading the diplomatic mission status. India has maintained, despite repeatedly asking proof for the accusation, Ottawa did not share a shred of evidence against Trudeau's claim.
Well, look, what Canada will be looking to do is to diversify our trading relationships, and there's with like-minded countries, and there are opportunities to rebuild the relationships with India. There needs to be a shared sense of values around that commercial relationship, and if I am Prime Minister, I look forward to the opportunity to build that. Thank you.
Moving on, the people of POJK are facing immense hardships due to rising prices of essential commodities with the onset of Islamic month of Ramadan. With little government intervention, their struggle to afford basic necessities continue to worsen. A report.
The indifferent and exploitative attitude of the Pakistani government has made life increasingly difficult for the people of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The sharp rise in the prices of staple foods like rice and meat has forced many to cut down on meals, exacerbating poverty and deprivation. Economic neglect and discrimination have deepened the crisis.
वो तमाम सरकारी रेट जो हैं या मुकर्रर शुदा रेट जो गुज़श्ता 11 महीने नाफिज़ुल अमल रहते हैं वो इस मुबारक महीने में क्यों अपना वो हवा में तहलील हो जाते हैं, उन पर अमल दरामद मुमकिन नहीं होता। इस पर इंतज़ामिया को भी सोचना चाहिए, इस पर ताजरों को भी सोचना चाहिए। ताजर ये महसूस करें कि उनकी मईशत जो है अगर यानी कि सारे खरीदेगा तो उनकी मईशत चलेगी। अगर मुज़फ़्फ़राबाद में एक लोग हिम्मत कर लें, वो 10 दिन गोश्त ना ख़रीदें, अगर उनका वो तैयार शुदा माल भी है, वो गोश्त मौजूद है, आवाम ना ख़रीदें, वो बताएं वो कहाँ जाए। तो और इसके अलावा एक और पॉइंट जो हमारे गोश्त के वाले से मसाइल हैं, वो यहाँ से गोश्त यानी कि काट करके रावलपिंडी में काफ़ी वाफर मकदार में जाता है, जिस वजह से किल्लत का भी मामला है। इस पर भी ज़िली इंतज़ामिया को तमाम आज़ाद कश्मीर की सोचना चाहिए।
Pakistan's economic mismanagement and systematic discrimination against POJK have left its people struggling for survival. Without urgent intervention to control inflation and ensure fair distribution of resources, their hardships are only likely to intensify.
And students and activists across Bangladesh have launched protests against rape and violence against women, demanding immediate action and legal reforms. The movement follows the brutal rape of an 8-year-old girl and growing concerns over rising violence since the country's political transition in 2024. The victim remains in critical condition at an army hospital in Dhaka, further fueling public anger. In response, hundreds of students have taken to the streets, boycotting classes and exams to demand justice. The protesting students have demanded action against rape and violence against women right now and have called for an end to the exploitation of religion and social norms that perpetuate violence against women. Despite promises of reforms, women's rights activists argue that deeper social change is essential. According to police data, cases of violence surged by 19.5% between December and January, highlighting a growing crisis. Human Rights Organization reported 250 rape cases in the first 6 months of 2024 alone, with 14 women murdered following sexual assaults and 3 taking their lives. The perpetrators reportedly include relatives, neighbors, teachers, and even family members, underscoring a concerning breakdown of societal trust.
See, we really don't believe in words anymore, so we want action, honestly. So whatever they have talked about, it's very important that they implement those starting today, starting this moment, and we demand justice from now, like from this moment onwards. We want to see change from this moment onwards, because the justice that has been delayed for a very long time, the justice that is being delayed for a very long time, we see no hope at this moment to actually see that justice will be served at this, for against violence against women in the present context of the country. So
Sri Lanka has not changed its stance on doing business with India's Adani Group and welcomes investment opportunities from the conglomerate, the country's cabinet spokesperson said on Tuesday. The statement comes days after the Adani Group said it will withdraw from 2 proposed wind power projects, as Colombo said it was seeking to lower the cost of the power generated. Sri Lanka began reviewing Adani Group projects after US authorities in November accused its founder Gautam Adani and other executives of being part of a scheme to pay bribes to secure Indian power supply deals. The firm has denied any wrongdoing. Sri Lanka, however, had said it was unconcerned by the group's dealings with other countries. The cabinet spokesperson on Tuesday, while referring to the proposed projects Adani has withdrawn from, said, but Sri Lanka remains firm on negotiating purchasing cost of power generated from the wind power projects. Moving on, the Dalai Lama's successor will be born outside China, the spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism has said in a new book, raising the stakes in a dispute with Beijing over control of Himalayan region he fled more than 6 decades ago. Tibetans worldwide want the institution of the Dalai Lama to continue after the 89-year-old's death. He writes in Voice for the Voiceless, which was reviewed by Reuters and is being released on Tuesday in the United States. His book marks the first time the Dalai Lama has specified that his successor would be born in a free world, which he describes as outside China. Earlier on Monday, the Tibetan government in exile in India's Dharamshala commemorated the 66th anniversary of Tibetan Uprising Day with a protest march. The 1959 uprising was against the occupation of Tibet. But after the uprising failed, Tibetans, along with their 14th Dalai Lama, fled to India and took refuge. Since then, the Dalai Lama runs a government in exile from Dharamshala along with his supporters and advocates Tibet's autonomy by peaceful means. Beijing insists it will choose his successor, but the Dalai Lama has said any successor named by China would not be respected. China brands the Dalai Lama, who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1989 for keeping alive the Tibetan cause, as a separatist. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.
Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.